Assalamu alaikum. My last video that was about men's mental health. I tried to reach out to a few people who reached out to a few people, got some confirmation. So hopefully that conversation I will be sharing with you in coming days. But before that, I wanted to share a few other questions and some conversations I've had, some online, some in person. One of the things that I saw online happens to be in terms of everything that a man does, everything that a man executes, everything that a man perpetuates. And a question that I had in this case was, and I'm going to relate it to the evolution of males in our society for the most part. So the situation in this case was everything that a man does when he's an adult, when he's in position of power, the abuse he subjects females to. If a man executes all these atrocities, let's look back. When a boy is born, he's being raised by his mother. He's being raised by sisters, if there are sisters in the household. So and this I'm talking about subcontinental males, mostly subcontinental Muslim males, emphasis on subcontinental, because our translation of teachings of Islam are so different from what Islam actually is. We have taken influence from Indian culture, from Hindu culture, and we have translated that into our interpretation of Islam. So a lot of wrongs there. So let's come back to the task at hand. For first 20 odd years, Muslim females, mothers and sisters and aunts, khalas, puppies, mommies, all these ladies are raising that boy. They are inputting different sets of data. Those are psychological profiling, those are mental conditioning, those are behavioral attributes, those are conflict management and resolution attributes from the perspective of a female who wants to see how things are run. So for first 20 odd years, up until the guy starts mingling with the fairer sex, goes out of the house and starts establishing friendships, single point of contact, single point of reference, or limited point of context and reference is the females within the family, mother, aunties, khalas, puppies, sisters, elder cousins. So whatever behaviors he is seeing, he is going to start accepting those behaviors, those questions, um, persecution, mind games, chess games, and everything as the only thing that happens, as the only thing that a male is supposed to behave, that a male is supposed to act, that a male is supposed to think, or that a male who's supposed to feel that way. Now, yes, there are father figures in the family, but this is the kicker. Let's go back to the same father figures. What happens when mothers, elder sisters, aunties, grandmothers, they are so dominant in the household that whatever they say, whatever they think, whatever they believe to be true, they want to enforce those teachings onto their sons. And let's say a male leader of the household says, no, this is wrong. You don't need to teach him this. What I have seen myself is they are told, no, you need to stay away from this. This is how we are going to raise the kids. You have nothing to do with this. This is our domain. You don't know anything. You stay out of the house all day. You go work. We know what happens in the household. We know what the kids are going through. So what happens is slowly and gradually over the course of months, years, weeks, decades, this mental conditioning, this psychological, spiritual, emotional, physical conditioning becomes a personality. So imagine 20 years of conditioning. Now this male gets into a relationship, likes a girl. Eventually they get married. Fine, honeymoon period is over, and then boom, comes the real deal. The main event starts. So now all that conditioning from the female perspective, from the perspective of a mother, elder sister, younger sister, aunties, khalas, puppies, elder cousins, who have been raised in the same ecosystem, or if I want to use an example, they've been raised in the same well. Now that conditioning comes out. Oh, but when the female says something which is in contradiction of what the male has seen or experienced over the course of time, he's like, well, no, no, no. This is not how it's done. This is how I have seen it over 20 odd years. How can you do it this way when my mom, my khala, my pupo, my sister, they used to do it this way? So now there's conflict because now there's a brand new person in the mix. Maybe you've known her for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 7 years. You got married. So 3, 4, 5, 7 years, maybe 1, 2 years, you got married. And that experience, that acquaintance, that companionship of a few years, there is no way in hell that's going to trump 2 decades worth of conditioning. So that's the first context. Then why do we end up blaming males for what they're acting upon because their conditioning has been that way over the course of 2 decades at least? At least. So that's the first question. Why only males are blamed in this case? And those males who find it hard, who find it really hard when they get out of their homes, they get into workplace, start interacting with females outside of their home, outside of their family, they start understanding, realization dawns upon them that this is how things are supposed to be. There's not just one perspective, which I have learned, which I have been told over the course of years. Rather, there are multiple dimensions of human behaviors, human relationships. So that conflict starts. And then males who are able to break away from that dominance, from that impact over the course of 2 decades, 2.5 decades, they start thriving. They start pushing back on their learning. Even better, they start unlearning what they have learned over the course of 2 decades, 25 years or so, through their moms, through their grandmothers, paternal, maternal, whatever the case be, through their aunties, through their sisters, elder cousins. And this I'm talking about specifically Pakistani, subcontinental Muslim families, mostly subcontinental, Muslim, ghair Muslim, non-Muslims, regardless. So males who are able to mentally break away from that conditioning because they have some strength. It could be mental strength, it could be psychological strength. That strength can come from their partner, that strength can come from their innate desire to be different from what they have seen happening around them as a result of the ecosystem they were part of. Whatever the case be, males who are able to break away from that conditioning, they start thriving. Now, what is going to happen here is as soon as they start thriving, they start developing or whatever personality that was previously in conflict of everything that was happening around them and everything that was being taught to them. When their actual personality starts thriving and starts asking questions, then those males are going to get labeled, blamed. Oh, what kind of an individual are you? You do not listen. You do not pay attention. You do not care about us. Well, in fact, what he's doing is he is just trying to understand and ask questions about the behavior that he was part of, he was conditioned to, and whether or not that behavior compared to what is now, which side is correct. And most importantly, where should he stand in this equation? Should he continue with the left side, what he has seen over the course of 25 years, or he should in fact continue down the path of unlearning the wrong behaviors, which is arguably the most difficult thing for any human being to do, to unlearn bad behaviors, unlearn bad practices, and then to learn from scratch. So as this male starts doing it, he starts getting labeled. Another thing I've seen is he starts getting labeled, oh, you only listen to your wife. Even if he doesn't listen to his wife, what he's doing is he is being objective in trying to assess on face value, on merit, what his conditioning has been versus what is being said now. On face value, what is being said, rather who is saying it. So yes, he's going to get blamed from both sides. So in the end, yes, I mean, males are going to be blamed, but you will have to assess it objectively. Now let's talk about males who are not able to escape this conditioning. It is those males, even when they travel abroad, even when they get out of the so-called quote unquote well of conditioning, even when they are outside that ecosystem, they are going to do the same things because that is what they have seen. That is something that they have liked, maybe. That is something they have liked by virtue of not having any other frame of reference. So they've only seen one spectrum against which they measure everything. So they are going to continue, even after marriage, in the same behavior. And those are the males who now transition from absorption of methods, absorption of manners, of words, of behaviors, of mind games, of strategies in terms of execution now. They're going to do the same thing with their partners. They're going to eventually cross the line of verbal assault into physical assault. They are going to cross the line of verbal physical assault only to their partners over into their kids. They are going to now cross that line of verbal, physical, mental assault of their partners to kids to their extended families. So in this case, and still, this I'm saying based on me knowing people, family members, friends, both in Pakistan, outside Pakistan, spending time everywhere on both sides of the spectrum and seeing these behaviors. And then the kind of males who still perpetuate these actions, they will still have females in their family who will condone their behavior. Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right. You're doing the right thing. You need to put her in place. Oh, you need to put so and so in place. When he needs to be told on his face that you are wrong. You need not do that. So, coming back to my first question, should we only blame men in this case when what they have seen over the course of these years is actions, words, behaviors, active, passive from females around them who have raised them, and inability of males in their household to stamp authority that no, this is wrong what you're teaching him. You need to be teaching him the right things and the right behaviors, to treat people objectively, to treat people fairly based on what is being done, instead of just basing it on, no, he's my relative, he's not my relative, I'm going to treat my relatives different from how I treat any other stranger in terms of human being. So it goes back to that. It has a lot to do with that mental conditioning, and males who are able to break away from that mental conditioning, somewhere they have that innate desire to ask why. Why am I supposed to do this versus why am I supposed to do that? Why are you doing this or saying this? Or where's the frame of reference? As Muslims, let's just call upon the ultimate frame of reference, which is Quran and Sunnah. Can you please share me reference from what you're saying from Quran and Sunnah or any Sahih Hadith that this is how it's supposed to be? Can you share me any precedent from Prophet ﷺ or Quran that this is how it's supposed to be done? Those males, yes, chances are will walk alone for quite some time. No one's going to talk to them. No one's going to care about them. No one's going to walk with them saying, you know what, you did a great job. Thank you. While you're not agreeing with me, you are not also agreeing with person who is wrong. So I appreciate you for standing up despite being alone, but standing up for the right thing. While we may not agree today, maybe we will agree down the road. But fact being that you are standing up to this mental conditioning over the course of decades and you're breaking away from it. You are asking these questions. So it has a lot to do with who is bringing our young males up, in what environment they're being brought up, what are they being told, how, very importantly, how they are being taught in terms of interpretation of Quran and Sunnah. That is a very, very critical. How we are presenting that message of Quran and Sunnah to these young males who are going to go on, raise their families, have their kids, have personal lives, marital lives, parental lives, and they're going to be responsible for their kids and their spouses and their extended families, their family and friends, their work relationships, their personal relationships. Very important. So, no, it is not just males who execute abuse, who execute atrocities. It is that lifelong chain of mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, psychological, physiological behaviors that have brought this guy to this point where he has now become what he is and who he is. And the fact that there has been, over the course of years, a reinforcement that no, this is the only way you're going to do this because this is the only way he has received validation. Another very important point, receiving validation because this is the only way it's going to happen. And if you only do it this way, you will get my validation or our validation. So, very important. I really want you to think about this. If you see around you males who are trying to break away from this generational mess, generational trauma, generational mindset, and they're trying to break away and balance their life in terms of being objective while not putting both sides against each other, and they're trying to balance it, or do you see males around you who are continuing in the same mindset and they're dishing out the same behavior now to the next generation or their partners, their friends, their family members? And whether you are able to differentiate between why these two males act differently. Are you able to identify? So I really want you to give a thought to this. And this is in line with what I will be, hopefully, I will have a few people that I will be speaking with in the next coming weeks and just continuing on this road of men's mental health because no one really cares about men's mental health. Let's be very honest. We see it November, No Shave November. We talk about it, and then everyone forgets about it. Everyone, what I have heard this a lot, especially in subcontinental culture, Pakistani culture, men being treated like dogs. Oh, they're here, they're in the household, they're there. We just know they're there. It's okay. They're not treated any more than breadwinners, which is their job. Yes, Allah Ta'ala has made males to take care of their families. But while we place so much emphasis on the importance of mothers, which no doubt there is, we absolutely need to understand the complex nature of balancing act that males do, Muslim males, subcontinental Muslim males do, while not receiving any kind of acknowledgement. This is not to say that females don't deserve anything. No, absolutely not. This is solely from a male's perspective. I want every one of you to understand this. The point of this is not bashing of females. It's not a bitch fest. No, absolutely not. I want us to start thinking about our males, our boys who are going to become fathers, who are going to become husbands, who are going to be brothers, who are going to be business partners, who are going to be imams, who are going to be business leaders, political leaders, social leaders, who are going to be public speakers. These are the people we need to take care of. So ask yourselves this question. These two different males that I see, what sets them apart? Is it their mindset? Is it their will to be better than what they saw growing up? Or is it something else altogether? And if you have the answer to that, or if you want to share any comments, please share, because this is an ongoing conversation we absolutely need to have. There's no two ways about it. Unless and until we have this conversation, we will not be able to have an in your face, out there, proud male who does not carry any generational trauma, or even if he does carry generational trauma, he's bold enough, he is confident enough that he is going to say, you know what, I'm going to take care of this generational trauma and I'm not going to pass this on to you. The buck stops here. So I want you guys to think about it. And if you have something to say, please share your feedback and comments. And if you have anything else that you want me to cover or talk about, do not hesitate to comment, like, and subscribe. This is, till next time, Umer Khan signing off. Allah Hafiz.